Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Only a look at Jesus. Oh, so bow down with care. Your bird.
Psalms 119, verse 105 to 112, rather. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet, and a light unto my path. I have sworn, and I will perform it, that I will keep thy righteous judgment. I am afflicted very much. Quicken me, O Lord, according unto thy word. Accept, I beseech thee, the freewill offering of thy mouth, O Lord, and teach me thy judgment. My soul is continually in my hands, yet I do not forget thy law. The wicked have laid a snare for me, yet I erred not from your precepts. Thy testimony have I taken as an heritage forever, for they are the rejoicing of my heart. I have inclined my heart to perform thy statute always, even unto the end. Good evening, globalists, and welcome. Tonight's show is dubbed It's a Shit Show. The nation have been given the shitty end of the stick by this government. Audrey Marks has broke her silence, and we're going to dub her with a bit of shit tonight. We're also going to chuck Marisa Dalrymple head in a bucket of shit. Cliff Hughes round the corner, always playing in shit, literally. And one could say Dana Morris Dixon and Horace Chang is just going around shitting themselves. So tonight is really, it's a shit show. That's the show we're having tonight. So like and share the live for us, please, because we are going to put out Audrey Marks to dry. We literally are going to put Audrey Marks out to dry. And if you want to hear Audrey Marks lie, and if you want others to hear Audrey Marks lie, like and share the live for us, please. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good evening and welcome to It's a Shit Show. Debbie Jarvis TV, good evening and welcome. Gloria Morris, good evening. Good evening and welcome. Suzette Williams, Yvonne Bradford, Leonie Denton, good evening. Lorraine Smichaels, good evening and welcome. Laverne, good evening. Jamrock 8766, Jacqueline Petre, good evening. Jacqueline, don't make me start by you. But if you want to hold on, I will explain the difference for you. All right, Jacqueline? If you want to hold on until I get there, then I'll explain for you. Eugene Brown, good evening and welcome. Joan Bailey, Lawrence Michaels, good evening. Golda Watson, good evening and welcome to this evening's shit show. Who do we start with first? 10 years. We'll start with 10 years.
10 years, you say. 10 long years and look how Jamaica stay. No light, no road, no food, pan we plate. People are suffer while Andrew live great. You stand up on the platform, smile wide and proud. I tell we about prosperity, but we can't see it all now. Hurricane come through I left the people here. 6 months later, them still old. Asleep under the air. Their GLP friends them build high rise. Road still full of hope. House pocket to a field while the nation lose its soul. Hospital overflow. Picnic can't get bed. School roof a leak, but you and Juliet well fed. You always have excuse, always pass the blame. Every time something wrong, it never go in your name. Jamaica a drown and you claim you're unclean. Biggest actor in a politics we ever see. Boldness, time to go. Time to go. The people, we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Boldness, time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Boldness, time to go. Farmer can't afford to plant, food price reach the sky. You bring in the poverty while your own people cry. We born ya, we grow ya, we bleed for this land. But Andrew at the top won't extend the man. You talk about vision, you talk about plan. But 10 years later, we still can't understand. Corruption report land and nobody charge. The people pocket small, but the scandal them large. Who's crack up parish council, bro? Country suffocate, done and it just smoke. And when we raise the voice, you call we political. But the truth is the truth and the truth is biblical.
Boldness, time to go.
Time to go. The people,
Let's say no.
we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know hear us. We are knock on the door.
Boldness, time to go.
Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Boldness, our time to go. We know want no hype, we know want no speech. We want action, no, not the lies you preach. Hurricane victims still under tarpaulin. Prime Minister fly gone foreign. Your JLP cabinet full, but the people copy empty. Oh, you live so large when we live in so scanty. Not with fists, not with fire, but with voice them rising higher and higher. From every parish, every yard, every gate, Jamaica speaking, and I'm not too late.
Boldness, time to go.
Time to go. The people,
Let's say no.
we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know hear us. We are not by the door.
Boldness, time to go.
Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Boldness and time to go. This one is for every Jamaican. What can't afford feet. We are sleep on cardboard. We are drive on broken road. The people don't forget. The people don't forgive. Enough is enough. Jamaicans will live.
Jamaicans want to live, but if we want to live, we've got to stand up and demand our fair share of the pie, because this government have no intention of giving us our fair share. Who do we start with first? Andrew Holness, Audrey Marks, Cliff Hughes, Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert. Who do we start with? Who do we start with first? Because there's a few we're going at tonight. Who do we start with? There's so much of the junk for them to go on tonight. We're not ready for Audrey Marks yet. We don't think so. Let's start with Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert. Let us start with Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert. Oh, you're all saying Cliff. You're all saying Cliff. So we can move from Cliff to Phillbert. Now, Cliff Hughes, who is always playing in shit, as you know, tonight is a shit show. Even her has joined the choir. Benita Clark. Even her has joined the choir. I am confused, and I'll tell you why. The attack that was against Nikita Burchell on Tuesday, I would have understood a few weeks ago if that attack came. But I'm very puzzled because I don't know what causes the attack from Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert, because the ruckus in Parliament on Tuesday evening was Philip Powell who started it. If it was previous issue to do with Burchell and these attacks that are coming, I'm not one that is fan of Nikita Burchell, I must say this. But I don't understand where the Tuesday attack came from with Marisia, and then Andrew Olness, not Andrew Olness, Cliff Hughes joined in. Let us listen to her.
Seeing since September 3, 2025, where the sitting of this new parliament is bad for the country. It is on a dangerous path that can only lead to the decline in the respect of the parliament. And some members of the parliament, in particular, Miss Burchell, the member from South St. James, needs some guidance from the leadership of her party. Where is the leadership of the People's National Party? I noticed Mr. Paulwell was nodding in agreement with Mrs. Dalrymple Phillbert. He is one of the senior members of the parliament now. He needs to have several sessions with the likes of Burchell and tell her in no uncertain manner she is demeaning her standing as a parliamentarian. That's not the way to do it.
What could have caused that, as Jamaica would have said? What could have caused this? No, what could have caused this? You're playing in shit in public. Because that's what it is. I would have understood if this came weeks ago. If this came not weeks ago, last week, it was last week, the Nikita Burchell and Juliet Galangin, when she wanted to speak on the MOU issue, where Juliet Olness refused to recognize her. Lynette Jenkins, oh, you know. But all of what I watched, and we both watch a lot of it together, I didn't see where Nikita Burchell created any problem in Parliament on Tuesday. The problem, the standoff that happened in Parliament on Tuesday, started with Philip Paulwell, PJ's girlfriend. So if he was nodding in support of Dalrymple Phillbert, what does that say? Opal, how you do? What does that say if he was nodding in support of Phillbert? Because Paulwell was the one who created Tuesday evening ruckus in a parliament. He was the one who refused to sit down while Juliet asked him to sit down, and thereby a demonstration started by the People's National Party side of things. It didn't. I never Nikita Burchell started. If you all attack Nikita Burchell a week or 2 weeks ago or months ago in the Yamhead situation, but the problem is, you see, this analogy not done with. The analogy still a robono. The controlling wife and the school mistress. And that still are the problem. Because Nikita Burchell did nothing on Tuesday from the various different bits and pieces I've watched. The major standoff was caused by Philip Paulwell over questioning why the annual report weren't tabled. So all of this weight, when we say come down upon Nikita Burchell, Dalrymple, where we're going to dip in a shit shortly, and now Cliff Hughes, who is always playing in shit, come out with more bullshit. How is it that Nikita Burchell I get the blame for this? And why the PNP would stand up and allow Nikita Burchell to get blame for Tuesday? Because it wasn't caused by her. It was Philip Paulwell. So rather than attacking Philip Paulwell, we start the demonstration. Oh no, attacking Nikita Burchell, it don't make no sense. The only sense that this makes is the feeling we carry from the wife and school teacher business. That is where it is coming from. Because Ono not done with her yet. Because she never apologized to Juliet. What the whole honor a call for. She never apologized to Juliet what the whole honor call for. And that is what the problem is. It's not that Nikita Burchell did anything wrong on Tuesday. It's not that Nikita Burchell did worse than Philip Paulwell. Philip Paulwell was the one who cast the ruckus on Tuesday. So why blame Nikita Burchell for it? And as she has said, Paulwell was nodding her head when Dalrymple was there trying to eat her head off. And that's why I tell you I can't support the PNP. Because I don't know where PNP stand. And I may go stand here so and then PNP dig hole under my feet and me drop in. We can't support the PNP because of oneness and one voice and unity and honesty over there. Because everybody in the Labour Party attack Nikita Burchell. And I want somebody me say sort of stand up, and it's Dr. Dawes. And Philip Paulwell was the one who created. Jocelyn, I'm Wayne Forbes. Wayne Forbes. Not Lonesome. Forbes. 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 Not Lonesome. I think the voices are distinct. The look is even more distinct. So, yes, I am Wayne Forbes. All right? Look at me, Wayne Forbes. Murder, She Wrote. So Cliff Hughes can go on playing them shit because you know Cliff Hughes regularly play in a shit. And that's all Cliff Hughes come out of do. Not only playing in his shit, him love playing in other people's shit. And that's all him come out of do. But Cliff Hughes, you don't have to be... No, you don't have to work off the tax money that way there. Michael Nepper, how are you? Not because you owe the tax money. Not because, all right, Jocelyn. Not because you owe the tax money. You go bend over, so. How you getting at this? You as a journalist, Cliff Hughes, you're meant to set the record straight and say Philip Paulwell was the one who created the nuisance on Tuesday evening. So how come you and Marisa Dalrymple? Well, we're going to duck in a bucket of shit in a bit. How come you get fair blame Nikita Burchell? The only problem here is because Nikita Burchell refuses to apologize to Juliet. Why? What is it that she should apologize for exactly? Hmm? Is she the first person to ever use an analogy? Unforgettable truth. How you do? Hmm? Is she the first person to ever use an analogy? Or is our parliament and our debating system immune from using analogy to explain ourselves? It's probably analogy will get the TCN, the TCU, and the skill worker mix up in a one. Hmm? Liberate on a stew peas right now, a stew peas on a cook. Because a piece of pig steel in there, chicken foot in there, salt beef in there, piece of little everything, salt, every little thing in there. And this is what this TCN story become: stew peas, every little piece of meat in there. But it started with Dalrymple attack on Nikita Burchell, what I would call an unwarranted attack, because there was no reason for the attack that Dalrymple carried out on Nikita Burchell. But just to answer Jacqueline before we go forward, because you asked, so what about ISAT? Now, in the criminal justice system, you have what is called the rehabilitation of offenders. Say, for example, Jacqueline, one commits a crime and get 5 years sentence. After you spend that 5-year prison sentence, you still have, say, for example, another 6 years before the sentence is spent in law. Spent, not including the prison sentence. Spent is the time that it stays on your record before you become rehabilitated. Isaac Buchanan has gone through that phase. There is a further phase that he has also gone through. It's called the expungement phase, where it has been removed from his record completely. So he is as clean as if he has never committed a crime. That's what the law allows. On the other hand, Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert in 2024, or is it 2025, early 2025, pled guilty in court to a crime. She is now currently a convicted criminal. As opposed to Isaac, whose record in law is wiped clean. Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert will be given the time to spend her conviction. Say, for example, hers was a fine. Because it was a fine, like 3 years after she paid the fine, then her conviction would be spent, meaning she's been rehabilitated. And then she can apply for expungement if allowed. I don't know. So that is the difference. Betty Cook, good evening. That is the difference to answer your question. So regardless of Isaac's past, based on the Rehabilitation of Offenders Act and the expungement procedures, he is no longer a convicted criminal. Unlike Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert, who is a convicted criminal currently. In saying that, is to say that if anybody wants to stand up and quote moral practices and behavior, Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert will walk and take young boy old like she a lumber shop is not the one. She is not the one for stand up in our parliament and a quote the moral card, a quote the ethical card. The Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert, the gunman sweetheart, the roast cow, the potato thief, the thief money by caregiver sister out of the taxpayers' money, does not have the moral. The Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert will use badman and gunman get her way back to politics. The Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert who used gangsterism on nomination day and went to Paul Patmore's house to intimidate him cannot come out here and play the moral card like she nobody. Me will not stir up, me will throw a bucket of shit over her. Leave it to somebody else. Is there anybody in the Labour Party that have the moral card to come out and behave in the way that Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert behaved in Parliament on Tuesday evening? I don't think so. Vitality and Motion, oh you do. I don't think so. Nobody not over the Jamaica Labour Party with no ethics and moral to call out nobody. Because the fact that you can support Andrew Holness and Andrew Wheatley crime against the people's purse, against taxpayers, who both Andrew Wheatley and Andrew Holness is filing nil tax, even though they cannot account for their ill-gotten wealth. So all Jezebel and Zutipek, like Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert, is just not the one to play the moral card. Or she gets to come out and come talk about ethics and moral and them something there. How come? She should have never come back to Parliament. Resign for a few months and plead guilty and pay fine and come back. You think that gives you the moral to speak? You think that give Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert where walk and take young boy would like she a lumber shop? It doesn't give her the moral right to speak. Let somebody else, if there is somebody in the Labour Party that has moral, let them speak on that issue. But not some old throw by the wayside. Not some beat out skittle. Not some old trollop. Not some old flibbeted gibbets. Not she. No, let us remind you of what Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert did on nomination day. And the brown guy in the yellow hat, that's Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert's son. They went full on to Paul Patmore's house to intimidate him, to threaten him. And because she used gangsterism, crime and violence and guns, and thief taxpayer money buy and roast whole cow, you think that give her the right to come out with parliament and go on like she have any moral? That boy who used to climb up on the van where Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert is on, it's her son. Her son. His son will have the holy for gunman.
This is but more people. Not more.
This old hog, this old trollop, this old zutipek, this old flibbeted gibbet, this old fly by night, pitch by day, can't come in our parliament and come go on like she have morals, or come go on like she has somebody. She can go on so when at the Labour Party she a deal with. But you don't have no morals to call out nobody. We would have to draw the young boy them after you first. We would have to draw the young boy them Marisa after you first. We would have to draw the gunman them after you first before you can get up, brush off yourself, and have the moral to speak. So don't come at Nikita Burchell. It's because lady like Philip Palwell, it's because Lady Patterson is a bloody hypocrite. If Lady Patterson was over there nodding when you speak, it's because Lady Patterson is a bloody hypocrite. Because Lady Patterson was the one who created the problem. So on Tuesday, Nikita Burchell was scapegoated. If it was the week before, or months ago, or a couple weeks ago, I would have understood. But I didn't understand Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert outburst on Tuesday. So that tells us it's coming from way beyond Tuesday. Woman, move. You don't have the moral to speak. Make somebody else pluck up the courage and try. But no, come out here and go on like you are nobody. You have never been anywhere. Remember your sexual appetite with young boy cost your husband life. Careful, woman. Careful. We would take a bucket of shit and throw upon you. Because you're shitty enough already. If a bucket of shit throw upon you, people would recognize the difference. Not because you're not in a high office, or not have high job title, no mean you know somebody. It is said that you've always been a crooked lawyer. And it would have been based on your behavior in our parliament. When you sit down and rub up with taxpayers' money, it would validate that you're a crook. You are a crook. And come a parliament and go on like say, you're anybody. Who you be, Marisa? Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert, who you be? Other than a crook, who are you? Other than a corrupt lawyer, who are you? Other than a tired Zutepec, who are you, Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert? And then the Cliff Hughes, him where, if I know Cliff a paying a shit. Him come out and join the court. Why Cliff? Why every song labor rights come out can sing? You have to join the chorus. Why? Sharon Powell, how you do? Every time labor rights come out and sing a song, here come the soprano, Cliff Hughes. And a labor right you owe tax money to Cliff Hughes. The time is brought to you by the office of the Prime Minister. And a labor right you owe money to. Kennedy, good evening. The money where you owe Cliff Hughes is to Jamaica peoples, to the nation, with tax money. Where you owe is not to labor right. So you don't have to come out like a singing soprano. Everything labor rights say, you have to come out. The same way whether you come out and give explanation about the conflation of deportee and skilled workers. Why Cliff Hughes always has played the labor tune? But then again, one could understand why. Him get a lot of contract, him launder a lot of money for them, and him hold the nation a lot of money. So we understand that bit. But at what point, Cliff Hughes, you go draw back to the ethical and moral standard in journalism? TCU or TCN? Arjimax Dunsino is a wonder why Arjimax stays so long to come out. Is a wonder why Arjimax stays so long to come out. Oh, let us read this article before we go further. This article was done on the thief in Marisa.
Controversy in Jamaican Parliament. Convicted legislator Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert's return sparks debate on fitness for office. By Caribbean Political Affairs reporter. The return of Marisa Dalrymple Phillbert to her seat in Jamaica's parliament following a criminal conviction has ignited a national controversy, dividing public opinion and prompting urgent questions about the standards required to hold public office. The decision to allow her to resume legislative duties has drawn sharp criticism from civil society groups, opposition figures, and many citizens, who argue that a criminal record undermines the moral and legal authority necessary to make laws and hold the executive branch to account. Supporters, meanwhile, defend her right to serve, citing principles of rehabilitation and the distinction between a past conviction and current capacity. At the heart of the debate lie Jamaica's constitutional and legal provisions governing eligibility for Parliament. Critics argue that existing rules are ambiguous and insufficiently rigorous, allowing individuals with convictions to remain in office unless specifically disqualified by narrow criteria. They warn that permitting a convicted person to participate in lawmaking sends a dangerous message that standards of accountability can be adjusted for those in positions of power. There are growing fears that this precedent could erode public confidence in the legislature, weaken the separation between governance and the justice system, and make it harder to demand high ethical standards from elected representatives. Opponents also question whether Dalrymple Phillbert can effectively scrutinize government policies when her own standing has been called into question by the courts. Conversely, those who back her return emphasize that a conviction does not automatically render someone incapable of contributing to national debate. They point out that many legal systems recognize the possibility of redemption and that excluding individuals permanently based on a past offense could deprive Parliament of experienced voices. Some also argue that the focus should remain on the specific details of the conviction, its severity, and whether it relates directly to public duty, rather than imposing a blanket ban. Even so, this argument has done little to quell public concern, with many insisting that the privilege of making laws demands an unblemished record of respect for the law. The controversy has now expanded into a broader discussion about reforming Jamaica's governance framework. Civil society organizations are calling for clearer, more transparent disqualification rules, stronger vetting procedures for candidates, and stricter codes of conduct to ensure that only those with proven integrity hold legislative power. They argue that without reform, the system risks appearing inconsistent and open to manipulation. For voters, the issue has become a test of whether their representatives are truly committed to upholding the rule of law, or whether they are willing to prioritize political loyalty over public trust. As the debate continues, the outcome could have lasting implications for Jamaica's democracy. It challenges the nation to decide where the line should be drawn between giving individuals a second chance and protecting the integrity of its most important institutions. Whether through parliamentary review, public consultation, or legal challenge, the pressure is mounting to resolve this question and restore confidence in the standards of those who govern.
Bear with. Now, we're going to move to Audrey Marks, Abena Sarkodie, Ladybug Onodo. Now, this is where on a need for call crowd and tell the world, say, Global TV is going to debunk Audrey Marks and the government lies when it comes to the TC, as Audrey called it, TCU program, and the conflation with skilled workers. Call the world through there. Call the world and tell the world, say, we're going to debunk Audrey and the government tonight. It took Audrey Marks time to get out here. But when Audrey Marks finally pluck up the courage to come out, come read what she not see on paper. Matt Bean, how you do? When Audrey Marks pluck up the courage, Richard Reed, to come read what she not see on paper, we have to debunk them. We have to debunk the government narrative. So, share the live. Share the live through it, please. Right? Because how is it that two things at two different spectrum, two different ends, we get them mixed up together? Deportee, because that's what TCNs are. Deportee and skilled workers. Audrey Marks is not only calling us liars. Audrey Marks is calling the U.S. State Department liar as well. Because on a we brief against Audrey Marks, it's the U.S. State Department brief against UNO. And then put out the information what UNO they hide found with. Ever since that come out, what follows is lies what UNO lost control of. Lies what UNO don't remember. The first set of lies what Chang told us when this all started to the fact now where we not just tell a new lie every mouth open. Every mouth open, Ralston Henry, is a new lie. Let us listen to Audrey Marks on the TCUs. Because everybody, Audrey Marks, all if you not read off a paper, you shouldn't get that wrong. You shouldn't get that wrong. The baby with the palm breast right now, if you ask them what is the biggest news story in Jamaica, the baby are going to tell you, say, TCN, how you get it to be TCU, Audrey? After sit down for about 2 weeks and I listen to the debate, after sit down for nearly 2 weeks and hear your name a call, you still come out and come muddy, but then again your face full of mud. So it wouldn't be surprising if you come out and you open your mouth and muddy up the thing because your face already full of mud on it. Let's listen to the idiot.
For you. So let me make 4 points today to connect the dots and clarify the outset. The recent media reports conflating a request from the USA government to facilitate the transit of third country nationals from the USA to their country of origin with a proposal I had made to get skilled workers to Jamaica. My proposal was a structured migration program for Jamaica's economic development.
When the then ambassador to the United States first heard the manifesto of the Trump presidency in July 2024, the now Minister of Efficiency, Innovation and Digital Transformation, Audrey Marks, says she was made aware of factors that suggested a radical shift in America's migration policy, namely the mass deportation of undocumented persons, a development that could have a profound impact on Jamaica if not managed properly.
The third country nationals, TCU MOU, was
TCU. Violet Watson, how are you? The third country national, TCU MOU. I read, you know. I read a paper she look down pan. Even if she never look down pan paper, we out here talk about it long enough for she take copy. Don't? We out here talk about it long enough for she take copy.
the third country nationals, TCU MOU, was leaked before it was finalized. It has not been operationalized, so there are no persons deported to Jamaica apart from Jamaicans. Moreover, importantly, the MOU stipulates that persons with criminal convictions will not be allowed in Jamaica. As soon as the TCN MOU is finalized, as with all other bilateral agreements, there will be a full press briefing and what is finalized will be shared, but we're not there yet.
The former ambassador to the United States makes it clear that the TCN proposal originated entirely from the Trump administration. After 6 months of negotiations, according to the Prime Minister and the Minister of National Security and Peace, she says the MOU is still being finalized. However, she also says bringing criminals into Jamaica who are from the US is not an option being considered by the Jamaican government.
So there's not any mass migration to Jamaica of criminals. However, while the MOU has been signed, its full operationalization is not yet complete, so the full information on how it will work is still being worked out. So the constant calls for details of what has not been finalized is not making sense. Very clearly, with all the noise that is going on,
Our call for more information is not making sense, said Audrey Marks. Our call for more information is not making sense. The Prime Minister told us we were tantamount to ridiculous.
Government.
So there's not any mass migration to Jamaica of criminals. However, while the MOU has been signed, its full operationalization is not yet complete, so the full information on how it will work is still being worked out. So the constant calls for details of what has not been finalized is not making sense. Very clearly, with all the noise that is going on, what should be known is that it's non-negotiable that Jamaica would be taking criminals into the country. That is not in the MOU.
Okay. Let us deal with the conflation of third country national deportees and skilled workers. Far from each other, isn't it? And we manage to just take them and conflate them together. So, no, so hard you make it sound, and that them I run with and that them mean. Ask yourself the question: where on earth, why on earth would anybody in their rightful mind, when Jamaica laborers, Jamaica professional workers, the ordinary Jamaican is running away from Jamaica to the United States of A to look for a better life? How am I do with my phone? Bear with me there, globalists. I need to find my phone.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just a and I as a watching man around Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, night. We gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare and read the way. Prepare and read the way for jumping. Let's go. Fight down, war cry. Fight down. Listen, Rastafari. War and cry. And do that righteousness. Hey, we love.
Thank you for holding on and welcome back. Everybody who can't get a visa is trying to run from Jamaica to look a better life. Now, what I don't know what they're talking about, if they're talking about skilled workers or laborers, because these are two different things. Skilled workers are referred to as the professionals, like nurses, teachers, doctors, those in the science and technology and all of them area there. Those are the people who we refer to as skilled worker for overseas program, in the context of overseas program, as opposed to laborers who would be in possibly the construction industry, the hotel industry, and the menial jobs and all that. That is what I don't know which are they talking about. But in the context of skilled worker, what we hear them attack, you tell me who would leave America, even if the American government have such work program in other countries. Who you think would leave United States salary when Jamaican professionals are running away from Jamaica's salary to get a piece of the US salary? You tell me which US program that RJ would be talking about, or what employment program the US government have that RJ is talking about. Who are the workers that the US government supply, Raymond Oyedo, that RJ Marks is talking about? Because the US government don't have such program where Andrew Makawayo, where RJ Marks could negotiate with the Biden administration and skilled workers. Who would these people be? What is that program that the US government, the US State Department, who, where is that program? Because at the first, we know, based on the shit on our come out with now, at first we know say US have a program where you can go employ US people to come to Jamaica. Come pan what? Who you think a street cleaner, the lowest salary, the minimum wage salary in America, people who sweep street in America, people who clean toilet in America, people who clean old people backside in America work more than what nurses and junior doctors work in Jamaica, work more than what teacher work in Jamaica. So you tell me, RJ Marks, even if the US government have such a program, you think Jamaica would be qualified for that program based on our remuneration package? The US state is not the major employers. Of course, we see our teachers, nurses, and doctors go the other way because we have that program where the US can recruit or nurses or teachers or doctors. But most of the people from Jamaica will leave the US a work are in the private sector and them look them own jobs. Them look them own job in the private sector. Now the US have certain programs that they run abroad, but nothing in what RJ Marks is telling us about. American work overseas in the private sector. But them go a country like Dubai and them place there where the salary good, where the tax regime good. Jamaica not suitable for any of them something there. So when RJ Marks come out and tell you about a skilled worker program, when US has sent people go abroad go work, it's like the NGOs, the government contractors in the military and them something there, some US top companies, foreign directors, foreign direct employers and them something there. Not a US government sponsored work program. You have people like in the tech industry. You have a lot of them people like Microsoft, Google, Amazon, and in the finance and banking and consultancy area, in the oil and gas. These people are look them own job with those US companies abroad. When like government contract in a defense infrastructure project and like USAID program and them program there. But not for what Andrew Holness and RJ Marks is bullshitting the nation about. If it is that there was such a program, Jamaica wouldn't qualify for it, because the average salary in a Jamaica and the lower spectrum, the minimum wage, who you think from foreign would get up, come work for Jamaica minimum wage? Nobody from foreign never come to Jamaica come work for nurses, doctor, teacher, police and fireman and them people there get. Why you think somebody where sweeps street America wouldn't want to left can't do anything at all in Jamaica? No, explain, RJ Marks. Explain. US is recruiting our teachers, our nurses, our doctors, and they are running as fast as they can because they want to make a life out of them long, hard study. They want to make a life out of them long, hard study. So how you think, even if the US government have such program, which they don't, so if it is that RJ Marks makes such proposal and RJ Marks is having such negotiation, it wouldn't be with the US government. It certainly wouldn't be with the US government, because the US government don't have such program where they send workers abroad like nurses, doctors, and teachers. The US don't have such program. The US is recruiting our talents. And our talents are running as fast as they can, RJ Marks. Our talents are running as fast as they can. And not all of these are government hired. A lot of them are in private sector. A lot of them are in the private sector. A lot of these different private sector companies put out their employment with professionals in Jamaica. You understand? So if them are suck out with school teachers, with healthcare workers, with engineer and construction workers, with hospitality workers, with farm workers, why you think the US wouldn't have a program where Jamaica can recruit? Jamaica, stop push up on yourself. Stop making yourself feel good. Not even a street sweeper in America, not even a laborer upon a construction site would I want to come to Jamaica except for 2-week holiday. Why you think anybody would want to come work for peanut and then you have to pay rent and cost of living over it? And then you expect Jamaica people to believe say something goes off with you? And then have the nerve to tell we say we conflate two programs together, two programs when not sound alike. It's not just we, it's the American them, because Dana Dixon told us. Of the hope of work where them have to put in to explain to even the Americans them. Why you think anybody I go left from US can work for $17,000 a week? No, talk truth, Dana Dixon and Audrey Marks. Oh, I go left from America. Was shit cleaning profitable? Sweeping road profitable? Why would you think people would have left shit cleaning and sweeping road, which is so profitable in a foreign, for come give it up, for come, I saw them love Jamaica? Because how is it that RJ Marks not come out can explain it the way how Dana Dixon explain it? All I know have a different explanation. But the one thing you all explain in common is the conflation. And that's all no conversation have in common, is the word conflated. That's the only thing. That's the only thing or the whole of conversation have in common is the word conflated. Other than the word conflated, we have nothing in common. Everybody is saying something different because and everybody know how to remember lie. Especially when I don't your brain create the lie, it'll go hard for you to keep up with it. If I know your brain create the lie, it's going to be hard for you to keep up with it. It's going to be hard for you to remember it. So Ademark said to come back out here and tell us what program is she talking about, because nobody know, and we know of a fact the US government does not have such a program where the Jamaica government can approach them about a skilled worker exchange program. A lot of our Jamaicans are employed by the private sector. So, please come back out, come tell us, RJ Marks. Please come back out, come tell us which program is it that you were negotiating. Pinpoint what that program is that you were negotiating with the US government. Because it's not that you were negotiating with parts of the private sector. So please to tell us which government program that is, because a lot of people would want to know. This is the thing when you come out and do to it, and then when you come out and insult us. When you come out and insult us, we don't know say uno a lie. We don't know say uno look like a fool in a public. They don't have the nerve to come out and insult we like say, are we something wrong with? So please come back out, because you come out, come make this story more muddier. The fact that you don't know the difference of TCU and TCN, or the fact that you don't know that TCU don't exist. Everyone want to come out here with something new. So please come out here and tell us which program, because we know the US government don't have a program where any other government can approach them and negotiate with them to have skilled workers from the US come work in their country. In particular, Jamaica, with salary band is also low, is the reason why we are losing our skilled workers. And you want skilled workers from all the way United States of A, All the way from, you see how you come up big? You see your chest high, RJ Marks? Hmm? You see your chest high? You never even got South Africa, even though those 2-foot dogs, the South African them. You should have go look some of the 2-foot dogs them in a South Africa. If it is that you look for skill work, I hope a 2-foot dog in a South Africa so they know how to walk because people can't take them walk. Hmm? Why you never go look some of the 2-foot dog them in a South Africa for can do the cheap labor? Because Jamaica right across the board is cheap labor. Jamaica right across the board is cheap labor. You think nobody are gonna left from America? If you do the worst job in America, it's still worse around Jamaica. All and arguments. If anybody will do the worst job in America, it's still worse in Jamaica. So you never go jump out a frying pot and jump out a fire, because that's exactly what RJ Marx is explaining. We're asking Americans to jump out a frying pan and jump in a fire. Left a better salary with working condition and working rights, and come to Jamaica with insecurities. Hmm? And then you want to insult us because we don't believe it. Why not go war with this US State Department? And them create a ruckus upon you know. And them throw no out, and them throw no under bus. So anybody who fit up in the arms with is the US State Department. And the US State Department who fit up in the arms with. But don't talk to we like we're idiot. Don't talk to we like we're not well researched. Don't talk to we like people like me isn't brighter than you, RJ Marx. Because the conversation in a public for 2 weeks now, more than know say I know TCU, more than know say TCN. When they arrange a we'll go back to what Dana Dixon said. Because remember Dana Dixon start melt the shit. She was one of the first to start melt the shit. Our Dana Dixon and the JIS there. Because we have to keep up the momentum on these people. Dana says something different. Cliff says something different. Dana says something different. Cliff says something different. RJ come out now and say something different. Andrew tell us that we're ridiculous. It's all insults been thrown around. But to date, Uno cannot get it right. Uno cannot get a single story right to tell the Jamaica people. Don't tell me Mr. Dana Dixon video delete out of studio. They clean up some video with you know. No, so the idiot, yeah. So the national idiot, yeah.
Country Nationals program. Anyone who looks it up, you'll see that it is in place in many countries and it is a US initiative. So the US would have come to us on that Third Country Nationals program. Now, there's a conflation of that with a discussion that would have happened with Minister Marx in relation to exploring skilled laborers coming to Jamaica. And as you know,
no, this is even more bizarre. Skilled laborers. Is it skilled workers or skilled laborers? Because they're two different things, Dana Morris Dixon. When we talk about laborers, we're talking about mainly in a construction industry and them things there. When we talk about skilled workers, it's quite much a different thing. We're talking about the professionals. Which is it? Which is it? Because the word wanna come out with, you know. The word what Uno come out with for the last 2 weeks is what Uno have been trying to do to the people of Jamaica, if I never two people like we out here. And Uno do the conflation. And Uno stitch them two programs together. Uno can't tell we say the US done slack a we as well. Because I know we wanna not insult, you know. Remember, so not insult Donald Trump regime. Just remember that.
So we've been looking at nurses and doctors, for example, coming from the Philippines, also looking at Ghana.
So if we're talking about nurses and doctors, we're not talking about skilled laborers. Laborers and workers mean two different set of people we're talking about. When we're talking about workers and when we're talking about laborers, we're talking about two different skill sets.
Looking at other countries, Nigeria also. And so there was a conversation at one point about whether or not there was an opportunity around highly skilled persons. Now, that became conflated with TCN. And there was actually a lot of work, I'm told, that had to go into clarifying between the two countries that TCN.
What would be important if you could sit down and try to explain to us in baby steps? You know, like when we say baby alone, in baby steps, how you get deportee and professionals confused together. How we, because say a we do it or the US do it, how we are the US mix up deportee, nurses, teachers, doctors, and them people there. Just help us. Because as Andy Max said, if the intention is to confuse us, we are not confused. We know you're all lying. We know the reason why you're not lie. But what we not allow you to do is for thing to say, we believe on you, and go here, walk off and go rub on your hand and clap on your hand and say, you, we fool the fuck of them again. Not round here, my dear. Not round here, so. Laugh at them. I only look fool in a public dog shit. Then when you hear feel about dry dog shit, I only look fool in a public. Not we. There isn't one single Jamaican other than a few done labor rights. Other than a few labor rights where they head in an Andrew Holness backside that believe this fucker wanna talk about conflation. Please help us to understand how we conflate a dog and a pig. How we mix up a dog and a pig to be the same thing, you fucking stupid woman. Come out here, come back and explain how we mix up dog and pig. Damn idiot.
Is completely different from any kind of skilled workers program. And what would have been looked at is how can we maybe get some more skilled workers? And at the same time, there were discussions around how can we get more of or farm workers and or hotel workers that are going to the US, and we know those programs tend to be oversubscribed. Is there an opportunity for Jamaicans to also be working in the US? So it was a more holistic conversation, but at one point it did get conflated with the third country nationals program.
That's a special ministerial update with Information Minister Senator Dr. Dana Morris Dixon right here on the GIS.
There are many countries that have signed these agreements. And when you look at it, there are many in the Caribbean, many in Latin America. The US does use them as transit points to the other countries as they're on their way out. And that's just the nature of the program as the US has defined it. And they came to us on that basis as they did all the other countries. And we have gone into negotiations on what we can handle as a country, which is a very small number, which is 25. And what is beautiful about our program is that we have noted in the MOU that if those
Idiot, if nobody else have told you, let me tell you this. Nobody believe your bullshit. We see through your bullshit for what it is. The intention is to confuse us. It is not working. And this is why our story is still shifting. Because when you come out with a conflation story, when you expect with everybody and say, oh, damn, why did we think a pig is a dog? Why did we think a pig is a dog? Is it because both of them have hair? Is it because both of them are on 4 foot? Dana Morris Dixon? Do you not see how you look stupid? Don't you see how stupid you look? Haven't you listened to how stupid you sound? Do you watch back these things, you idiot? Why are you prostituting yourself for nothing? What do you hope to gain out of this? When them push you out, you go embarrass yourself. You're explaining nothing. Everything we want to say is a lie. The US doesn't have such program. And if the US had such program, Jamaica would not be qualified because we can't pay our own people them. With minimum wage is sweetie money. 17,000, want to tell me 17,000 US dollar how much for the week? 17,000 Jamaica dollar how much in a US money, please? Let me ask, liar AI or liar Google. Hold on. What is the US equivalent for 17,000 Jamaican dollars?
17,000 Jamaican dollars equals 108 United States dollars and 27 cents.
$108.27. I don't know one people. I don't know that one people for left America. The big apple. The big old apple. I don't know that one people for left the big old apple. They come work for a week time. When we teach nurses and doctors. I don't know about US salary, but you know, say some people will clean street in a Britain. I work $28,000 to $30,000 a year. 28 to 30,000 British pound a year. For some people, wear streets, clean street. You think anybody depend that salary they clean street wouldn't want to come to Jamaica come work as a teacher, a nurse, or a doctor? Oh no, because you'd have better off cleaning the street and earn better. So when you come with this conflation bullshit and what workers, what doctor, what nurse, what teacher would have left come to Jamaica, come work for what? Then they come work for what? That if the streets a street cleaner or a toilet cleaner would have left, would have left America, come work for a teacher or a doctor or a police salary in Jamaica.
who stay not continuing in transit ever goes above 10, the program ends.
That's a special ministerial
We've not finalized negotiations. So there's an MOU that has very squarely in it that it is 25 at a time. If at any point more than 10 are applying for asylum.
And the only way US equivalent salary pay in them way there are when a US company in Jamaica employ you and pay you based on US salary. Not Jamaica. Jamaica government wouldn't pay that, because what that would have immediately created is a two-tier system. What that would have immediately created is a two-tier salary system where the Jamaica government would have paid Jamaicans menial wage and then employ US counterpart doing the same work and pay them pan US wages. That would then create an awful two-tier system. So it wouldn't workable. Everybody would have it up on an even note level. But it's to see how them stupid with them lie. Who would have left foreign come work at Jamaica? Even if the US government has such a program where the Jamaica government could go and negotiate with them and say, you know what? We would need some nurses, teachers, and doctors, and so blah, blah, blah. Not no go so. It's willful confusion of the Jamaica people. But let me tell you something. We're awoken. We are awoken. We're not as fool as we think we is. Even though we still ourselves cheap. And all are we cheap.
In Jamaica, we respect international law and we have a process for those who may want to seek asylum, but we have written in our agreement that
this is another bullshit. If it is that they're transiting, if it is that they're transiting through Jamaica, why the need to claim an asylum? And why is it that the Jamaica government is prepared to respect the asylum rights of transitors, but not respect the asylum rights of Haitians who duly deserve the assistance? Nothing you're all saying is making any sense. Nothing you're all saying is making any sense. On the ongo make yourself look like fool the more you open it. I know we're not a fool, you know. On yourself, you're not embarrassing a public, but more so, you're not embarrassed with country and the international scene. Because people are looking and say, who are these stupid motherfuckers? What on earth are they talking about? This is 2026. Are they for real?
If we ever get to 10, that the program ends, nobody else can be sent to Jamaica. And it also has, in terms of who covers the costs, it also has that the International Organization for Migration will be the one that will be monitoring and making sure everything is okay and that we are abiding by international law for the time that these individuals are transiting through Jamaica. Questions such as housing, again, we need to finalize those details. And so there are a few more operational things to finalize. We will release the MOU, but I say to Jamaica, there's still some areas that we're ironing out. And as soon as those are known, we will come back and tell you. That's especially bilateral negotiations don't take place in the public domain. You negotiate it and then you come to cabinet and then cabinet has an approval and then there is a signing and then usually we come to the public. And that's really the way this was being done. And actually when it was discussed in cabinet and brought to cabinet just last week, there was a conversation around how we're going to publicize it. And it was agreed that we would make it public, but there was still work to be done. And so, as you know, we've not ironed out all of the operational details. So there's some questions like where are they going to be housed that are still being being worked out and still being negotiated. So we have always planned that once we were final and we had all of the details of the arrangement, that this was going to be made.
These stupid assholes. These stupid assholes. But Andrew is planning to thief more money. Andrew say, me I gonna listen for myself, cause me not love the mix up, you know. No one nobody go call me name and say we and say. Andrew say, if we were to repair Jamaica roads, it will cost the country $7 trillion. When you mix me
roads that we have, we really have to start to look at some roads and determine.
Me no want nobody walk away and call me name. I tell the Andrew said this. When I say IRFM put out a news about it, say Andrew said. If you do Jamaica roads, it will cost about $7 trillion. Remember, say Andrew did just do a $40 billion project where I want spark got in my launch here, so. And after I spend an allotted $40 billion, and just say we need $7 trillion more. When you listen here, because I can't carry news good. Me bad luck when it come to carrying news. Because me just got talk the wrong thing. And then you hear say it conflate with planting corn. Me may go talk you out of my mouth. And you hear say it conflated with planting corn. So make the Prime Minister talk.
Roads that we have, we really have to start to look at some roads and determine whether or not those roads still carry economic value. Whether or not they should still remain on our register of roads. Because it's one thing to have the road there and you're not using it, but yet it is still expected to be maintained. And that is why we have proposed the development of the One Road Authority to return standards to road construction, to return standards to road maintenance, to ensure there is a budget for road maintenance that matches the economic and engineering life of the road, so that there can also be a preventative maintenance program. But more importantly, that there is a regulator and someone who will supervise road construction, road maintenance, and preventative work. And in addition to that, an authority that has the legal powers to prosecute road users who destroy the national public assets in our roads by improper use or deliberate destruction. And that's the whole purpose of the One Road Authority. That is being worked on. I've charged Minister Morgan to have that delivered.
Andrew Mac. And Andrew Holness, I know you may talk to Andrew Mac. When you say Andrew Pan Road, yeah, tap him on his shoulder and say, Prime Minister, it's like how so much traffic in the country, sir. Tell me the road in Jamaica when I use, make I use it because it will ease up some of the congestion, you hear? When you say Andrew, the blood. Lord Jesus, when me see this, me say, no, sir. Me have to carry this to globalists, because me one can't listen to this here for career. Me one can't listen to this here for career. Me have to carry it on. Because if me dey come over here and tell on the labor right, they would say a liar PNP propaganda. Just like how Marco Rubio talkie and the bloody hand Tavares say a PNP position. Me never give nobody the benefit to mix me up. Prime Minister, tell me where they know, because I'm sure Jamaica people would have want to cut out the traffic. You hear me tell you, sir? Jamaica people want to cut out the traffic, so talk more fucker, make the people them here say, ah, motherfucker.
Road construction, road maintenance, and preventative work. And in addition to that, an authority that has the legal powers to prosecute road users who destroy the national public assets in our roads by improper use or deliberate destruction. And that's the whole purpose of the One Road Authority. That is being worked on. I've charged Minister Morgan to have that delivered by early next year. As you know, there's a long process towards establishing an institution, developing the legislation, passing it through Parliament and getting it done. But I think we can get it done. So if we can address the governance issues as it relates to roads, then I think we would be 50% of the way to seeing how we can repair all our critical roads and bringing them up to the standards that the public would want. So someone once asked me, what would it take to repair all the roads in Jamaica that would be in need of repair? And I did some back of the envelope calculations. Jamaica's national budget.
Jamaica, I wonder if we see what we got bush go pick up car come a yard. I wonder if we see what we got bush go pick up car come a yard.
Our last budget was about 1.4 trillion Jamaican dollars. Just to put that in context, that is $1,000 billion. That's $1 trillion. So, for us to repair, E.G. and Varden tells me that to do a kilometer of road in Jamaica properly, you would be looking at about 120 to $250 million. That is to put in the drains and to put the proper camber and water mains and to give you a really good first world infrastructure. That's what you're looking at on average. So, if we were to repair, that 21,000 kilometers to the various standards, you're looking at trillions of dollars. In fact, you'd probably be looking at between $5 to $7 trillion. So in other words, we would need to use the national budget for about 5 years and do nothing else. No school, and that includes a pipeline. No school, no hospital, no police, no security, no pension, no public sector workers' salaries, no social programs. All right? So we would have to forego.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I've been a hold on there. It dread. Me couldn't carry the news there. Because you see, if me carry, you go yes, a PNP this and a PNP that. And you have to talk foolishness them. Lord Jesus. Lord have mercy. Shaquille, why? Why Shaquille? When you say Andre Man build YouTube channel in a my name and come over. Shaquille, why? Shaquille, the old man them pan Andre platform. Mine Andre for mine you. Why? Why you and Andre think to say creating these fake pages? I go around pan people page go look war. una go benefit something out that. Why? Why Shaquille? I mean, of all the dick where you suck, of all the batty hole where you lick out, why? Anyway, Congresswoman described inhumane condition at Myanmar ICE facility. The Immigration and Custom Enforcement Removal Operation Field Officer in Myanmar isn't supposed to be a detention center, but in recent weeks it had turned into one with conditions. U.S. Representative Debbie, is it Westerman? I can't pronounce her last name. Described Thursday as inhumane and cruel. Congresswoman, a South Florida Democrat running for re-election in a newly red-run district against 4 other candidates, made an unannounced visit to the building in the 2800 block of Southwest, and also you call US address anyway, of Southwest 145 Avenue, then spoke to reporters outside the building. Condition inside, she said, remind her of the unacceptable treatment detainee endure at the recent closed alligator whatsoever facility in Everglades. The room where women were being held was, I would say, about 12 by 12, and that include a toilet in the corner of the room with no privacy at all. She said the men holding cell was about 24 by 24. There were easily 75 men in that room. How are they dealing with eating and showering? The average stay for the detainees who report themselves at that site to avoid arrest had registered for eventually self-deportation, only to find themselves unable to leave is 72 hours. Westerman said the detainees get 3 meals a day, a microwave, a 7.5-ounce serving fit for a snack, she said. The center has been a focus of numerous complaints from people leaving after their release. She said some have claimed to be there for more than 5 days. Congresswoman said she could not confirm whose account those accounts rather, and that ICE detained them to her, identified them to her rather, sorry. 2 fire trucks and an ambulance entered the property as Congresswoman spoke to reporters outside on Thursday. The Congresswoman said she was not allowed to speak to the detainees and only saw them behind a glass that they called to her, she said, crying for their human rights. This is major breaking news, Jamaica. This is what me can't pronounce our name, the last name, and them. So I don't know him as a congresswoman, I don't know who me attack. They look shriveled and miserable, she said. You wouldn't wish these conditions on anyone you love, or really on anyone at all. It is inhumane. It is unacceptable. Briefly addressing Spanish language media, Congresswoman added, no more description. It was cruel, she said. This is major breaking news. This is what our government, our crooked government, is taking our country into. These people, when you place people, hold on there. I think somebody sent me the pronunciation. Let me listen. Okay, so it's Wasserman Schultz. Schultz is her name. You always have some weird last name what we can't pronounce. Cause them give picking it chips, name chips and then something puppy and then something there. So it's weird. But what you must take away from this is these human rights abuses, these cruelty that Congresswoman identified. If these people end up in Jamaica, they could easily become hardened criminals because of the treatment they have undergone under the Trump regime. Because of the treatment they have undergone under the Trump regime. These are the people that Andrew Holness are bringing power. These are the human rights abuse. Yes, she's Jewish, I'm told. These are the human rights abuse that Andrew Holness is supporting. Because when you agree to take these people, US continue holding people in those conditions. You're helping to enforce these cruel and inhumane practices. I don't know where this is going to end, but I think MAGA have a duty to stop Trump. MAGA and the American people have a duty to stop Trump, not only at the November election, but the country must rise up against this practice because it's not going to do any good for America, nor will it do any good for any of these third countries that are accepting the human rights abuse created by Donald Trump. Jamaica, we must not let the momentum we've started die. We must be resolute that our government must pull out of this. This is human rights abuse. And I'm sure based on these reporting coming out from Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, if I saw it pronounced, the Supreme Court is likely to rule against this TCN when the Supreme Court put them ruling forward. But we mustn't sit down and make our government harbor or bring it on to we. Because the Trump regime can change their mind at any time and tell the Jamaica government that you have to arrest them. Because if it is that they're transiting, why are they allowed to roam freely? Why are they allowed to roam freely if they're transiting? But globalists, I guess we're going to leave it for tonight. Remember, say Andrew have more money for thief because if he just don't spend 40 billion per road, and he say if we fix Jamaica road them, bear in mind he just spend 40 billion, you know, or in the phase of spending 40 billion. But he say if we see any meaningful repair per we road them, it's gonna cost us from $5 to $7 trillion. And that is often take out the road them what we not use. Anyway, globalists, may we soon a man in your ear. Because every time you click your live, every time you scroll through your phone, it gets worse. And these people who continue to sit down and listen to Andrew Holness in a press conference, in a ceremonies and all sort of galanging. Uno know so uno validate the fuckery. When Andrew Holness talk and applaud, you're validating the fuckery. It's literally what you're doing. When you support Andrew Holness, now here Andrew Holness had talked about punishing road users. What about punishing corrupt politicians like Andrew Holness and Andrew Wheatley? Why all the while are we forget the punish so and uno do the crime? Talk truth. The morning show is 7 a.m. Eastern time, midday UK time. It's UK time midday. And I think 7 o'clock Eastern time. I think I saw it go. Why we always pick up the detriment? I same thing we're gonna pick up out of the TCN. Only detriment. And we're gonna get raped. I feel we pick them and get molested. I will them go shoot at her. I feel we pocket them and go pick. I will them go draw in a bush. We must not assume the detriment, my people. Because no matter what, Andrew and his friend them and his cronies them are going to walk away with the money. They're going to walk away with the money. All we get out of these things is detriment. See, right now, America and China war over Jamaica. What have we benefited out of it? The detriment. Andrew and Juliet get whole heap of chucking at the mining area, though, where their crooked Chinese friend carrying for them. The Chinese, them get whole heap of land, we always have to turn over to them because of the crooked practice we him deploy with them. We're only getting the detriments. Anyway, globalists, thank you for being here tonight. Lovely to have your support as always. Please join us back tomorrow morning. We don't even know who for jazz we're going to tear off tomorrow because there's so much dirty jazz in politics. There's so much dirty jazz in politics. You could literally grab anybody and tear off dirty clothes off of them. But, you know, we'll find somebody for tie our to tomorrow morning and drag them across the field. 10 years. 10 years. And Andrew Holness have destroyed the road maintenance fund. 10 years, the prosperity Andrew promised the people of Jamaica is still not yet actualized. Hold on. 10 years, the prosperity we were promised still not actualized. 10 years of so-called development that we have not seen. 10 years of investment that we have not benefited from. 10 years of corruption that Andrew Holness has presided over. 10 years of Andrew Holness, his wife, son, and MPs and cronies have enriched themselves. 10 years and 300% rise. The people of Jamaica are suffering.
10 years, you say. 10 long years and look how Jamaica stay. No light, no road, no food, power we plate. People are suffer while Andrew will live great. You stand up on the platform, smile wide and proud. I tell we about prosperity, but we can't see it all now. Hurricane come through and left the people here. 6 months later, them still out there, asleep under the air. Their JLP friends them build high rise, road still full of hope. A whose pocket you a fill while the nation lose its soul. Hospital overflow, picnic can't get bed. School roof a leak, but you and Juliet well fed. You always have excuse, always pass the blame. Every time something wrong, it never go in your name. Jamaica a drown and you claim you're unclean. Biggest actor in a politics we ever see it. Wholeness, time to go. Time to go. The people, we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door. Wholeness, time to go. Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Wholeness, time to go. Farmer can't afford to plant, food price reach the sky. You bring in the poverty while your own people cry. We born ya, we grow ya, we bleed for this land. But Andrew at the top won't extend the man. You talk about vision, you talk about plan. But 10 years later, we still can't understand. Corruption report land and nobody charge. The people pocket small, but the scandal them large. Who's crack up parish council, bro? Country suffocate, gun and it just smoke. And when we raise the voice, you call we political. But the truth is the truth, and the truth is biblical.
Police, time to go.
Time to go. The people,
Let's say no.
we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door.
Police, time to go.
Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. All less our time to go. We know want no hype, we know want no speech. We want action, no, not the lies you preach. Hurricane victims still under tarpaulin. Prime Minister fly gone foreign. Your JLP cabinet full, but the people COVID empty. Oh, you live so large when we live in so scanty. Not with fists, not with fire, but we voice them rising higher and higher. From every parish, every yard, every gate, Jamaica speaking, and I'm not too late.
Police, time to go.
Time to go. The people,
Let's say no.
we say no. 10 years and we can't take no more, you know, hear us. We are not on the door.
Police, time to go.
Time to go. From Kingston to Negril, the people say so. We tired, we hungry, we done with the show. Oh yes, our time to go. This one is for every Jamaican. What can't afford feet. We are sleep on cardboard. We are drive on broken road. The people don't forget. The people don't forgive. Enough is enough. Jamaicans will live.
Thank you, everyone, and good night.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.